I want to show you all an option for something that you can have on the move, on the go, but that is the Xvive U4 wireless in-ear system. Now it comes with two things. One is the receiver, one is the transmitter. So this is the transmitter right here, and it comes with that 1/4-inch jack. You can just unplug it, and again, this is an unbiased review, not bought for, not paid for, unsponsored, all the things. And it has some channels to kind of change here on the user interface in case you have a channel of Wi-Fi or other wireless systems in your church around you that are interfering. So you can actually change the channel that you're on. I'm not going to do that for the sake of this video because I got dialed in. Here's my only knock on these things is it's mono. It's not stereo. And if you play in stereo, this is not going to probably work perfectly how you want it to. Now, if you can get around it and just play mono, knowing that you're sending a stereo signal, then great. But that also means that everything you're getting in your ears is in mono. There is no stereo. So that's my only knock on this thing. Other than that, I think it's awesome. It's good for on the go. You can just pack it up in a little bag that comes with it, and you can put your pack, your transmitter, and if you need the 1/4-inch, you can take that with you. Otherwise, just leave it at the house or whatever. Plug these two things in, plug this into an XLR from whatever is receiving your monitor signal. So if it's an XLR or unbalanced or anything like that, you just plug this in, let it sit on the floor, let this have a good line of sight to it, and it works like a charm. I'm on channel 3. I noticed that that one has really, really good reception pretty much everywhere. I'm curious as to what it might have that could interfere with it, but I've yet to find out what it is. This thing is awesome. Now I can't really do any sound samples or anything like that because it's just not going to work. I can't send one from this yet, but what you would be hearing is a mono signal. This is your volume knob. The instructions say to kind of keep it at that level right there where the arrow meets. So I'm not really sure why, but I did notice that if I cranked it, it's a really hot signal. And I don't mean like loud, I mean like a weird compression thing. So when I dialed it back down, like the instructions actually said, then everything sounded actually pretty good. For a mono signal, it sounded fine. Now, if you don't play in stereo and you're not really worried about getting stems and tracks and all sorts of panning, then this is great. This is a great option for you to have on the move, on the go. Again, this is unbiased, unsponsored, so I'm just giving my honest thoughts. The only knock I have is that it's mono only. So if they're smart, they're going to be working on a stereo system, and then I'm all in. I think it's a great system, especially if you happen to be playing at a place, at a church, at a venue, whatever it might be, that doesn't have wireless as an option, but that you do have your monitors or your mix to a wedge, maybe to an XLR. Just put this into the XLR instead of running from a wedge or whatever. Try this system. I think it works awesome. The only thing I do have also about this is when you take this transmitter and you plug it into a 1/4-inch, and I know the housing is whatever it is. I mean, this thing is huge. So I've been plugging it in right here, and I'm going to show you this right now. So you can barely see it right here on the feed, but it's sticking out. It's huge. It takes up a lot of space. Now, if it was on the floor or anything like that, just from an XLR, just plugged in, that's the whole point of wireless. It'll just transmit that signal from wherever it rests to this. You take your in-ears or any sort of headphones, plug them in, and now I can hear myself. I hadn't heard myself that whole time. So, yeah. Anyways, I like this thing. I think it's actually really, really good. But I play in stereo, so it's not really anything I'd probably use often, or at least not yet.